Hey everyone, welcome to this Border0 demo. If you've ever struggled with the headaches of securely accessing your Elasticsearch cluster, especially those tucked away in private networks, you know the pain. VPNs, jump boxes, shared credentials, and limited visibility can turn a simple query into a security nightmare. In this demo, I'll show you how Border0 solves this. We'll set up secure, identity-aware access, allowing your team, like maybe your SRE group, to connect to the Elasticsearch cluster using just their existing SSO login, even if it's behind a firewall. Plus, I'll walk you through how to access it all seamlessly, either using curl or Kibana, ensuring both security and ease of use. So let's dive in. So here we are in the Border0 documentation page for Elasticsearch, and I followed the instructions and spun up a simple Elasticsearch server using Docker. And to confirm it's running, I'll use this simple curl command to localhost port 9200. And as you can see, we're getting a response, meaning our Elasticsearch cluster is live and ready. All right, so now the goal is to securely expose this cluster to all of my Border0 users. So I'll navigate to the Border0 portal and create a new socket specifically of the type Elasticsearch. So I'll name it es-log-cluster, seems appropriate. So next we need to configure the upstream credentials and upstream information. So since our Elasticsearch cluster is running on localhost on this server, we can just say localhost. And the Border0 connector has direct access. So crucially, because this connector acts as an identity-aware proxy, it also requires credentials to communicate with the cluster. So instead of hard coding the username and password, what I'll do as per the documentation, we'll adhere to best practices and use a file-based secret instead. So instead of providing the actual password, I'll provide a pointer to the file on the connector where it can find this necessary credential. So in my case, I already stored the password in a file named elasticsearch-auth on the connector. So instead of just inputting the password here directly, I'll provide the file name as a reference, and that keeps our secrets secure and local to the connector. All right, so now with the socket configured and the appropriate policy applied, and we need to make sure the policy needs to have database permissions for the users, I now should have immediate access to this Elasticsearch cluster. So let's test it out. So I will use the Border0 client on my desktop here to find the socket that we just created, es-log cluster. And I'll copy the connection string, and then I can just use maybe curl to see if it works. So we'll do that, HTTP es-log cluster port 9200, and there you have it. We're querying our private Elasticsearch cluster directly from my laptop using just my single sign-on credentials. Now, the Border0 client took care of all of that, so it didn't ask me for credentials because I'm already on the VPN. It knows who I am. We can also access it using my browser, as you can see here. And to show you the power of Border0's visibility, let's go and head back to the portal and check the session logs. So here you can see the sessions I just created. You can see it was user Andre from his MacBook and all of the queries that I just executed. So this level of details gives you complete auditability, allowing you to answer critical questions like who accessed the Elasticsearch cluster, which single sign-on identity was used, from where, when, all the queries that were being run. So that's the kind of visibility and control that Border0 brings to your Elasticsearch access. All right, so next up, let's see how our users can leverage Kibana, a very popular tool for visualizing and interacting with Elasticsearch data. So you'll notice how I've already created a Kibana resource within Border0, and to access it, I'll just use the Border0 client to find the Kibana resource and click on it. And as you can see, I have the right permissions, so this then seamlessly opens up my browser where I'm prompted to authenticate. So I'll just use my Google credentials to log in, and then it just lands me directly onto the Kibana dashboard. And so from here, I can now select dashboards and begin my work, whether that's querying data, visualizing it, applying filters, etc. And so this is the workflow Elasticsearch users are accustomed to, but now it's secured and streamlined through Border0's SSO integration, where it's directly using curl or Kibana or any other tool. You will have access whenever you need to from anywhere. So now if we jump back to the Border0 admin portal, you can see the session log for this Kibana instance. And just like Elasticsearch, we get comprehensive visibility. So that means we can see exactly which user or which single sign-on identity accessed Kibana from where and when. And if needed, we can even replay the browser session for even more visibility. All right, that brings us to the end of this demo already. As you've seen, we demonstrated how Border0 simplifies access to your Elasticsearch clusters, even when they run in a private network. All right, so the key takeaway, well, your users can leverage now their existing single sign-on credentials like Google or Okta for seamless and instant access to your clusters, eliminating the headaches of shared or static credentials. We also looked at how Kibana, really popular tool for Elasticsearch users, integrates just as smoothly with our SSO integration, maintaining that familiar workflow while enhancing security and ease of use. And for administrators, well, Border0 provides granular access control, providing you really deep visibility into who accesses what, when, from where. And you could also see exactly which queries are being executed by which user. And that type of insight can be crucial for compliance and troubleshooting. All right, so if you're ready to streamline access to your Elasticsearch clusters and experience these benefits firsthand, sign up for a free Border0 trial today, and we look forward to working with you.